Camille, we just arrived not too long ago, and what we can see from right now is that police have set up bike racks all around City Hall. When we first arrived, there were protesters on the other side of these bike racks, but they have since been moved by MPD, and right now they're kind of scattered through the area. There's a little bit of back and forth going on right now between protesters and police officers. Each protest led by community activists encouraging people to protest peacefully. And now in the morning light hours, it's apparent that what they hoped didn't really turn out at the end of the night. Just a few minutes ago, I went down the street on Main Street and saw that the Flight restaurant on Main Street also had one of their front windows smashed in. Things are quiet now. It's almost hard to believe that dozens of people walked down this street and eventually ended up in this Walgreens parking lot when the police moved them off the street last night. Things already look a lot different on the outside of this building compared to last week. The Army Corps of Engineers has set up a fence and security, and they're working at 24/7 inside on demolition to turn this building into a hospital that could treat coronavirus patients. And workers are actually making their way inside this morning to the former Commercial Appeal building behind me, and the transformation of the building into an alternate care facility is expected to be completed tomorrow. It'll house 400 hospital beds for recovering COVID-19 patients. Andrew, good morning. You know, it's been over a month since these restaurants and shops were allowed to welcome customers inside. Now they can, but things are still going to be different than what people are used to. Even though this is one of the city's biggest attractions, they don't want big crowds inside. So they're going to be limiting the capacity to 25%. And also guests are going to be asked to wear masks and get their temperatures checked at the door. But they say there's no need to get all shook up because this is actually going to be a unique experience for visitors. You know, Tennessee has seen record numbers when it comes to early and absentee voting, and election officials want to make sure your vote is counted. But not long lines here. There's no line stretching outside of the church like we saw with early voting. So it's been a really slow day. I talked to a couple of people who've been standing outside of the polling place. They say it's been slow all day. But I'll tell you who is not going to be having a slow day today. Election workers tasked with counting all of those absentee ballots. When I spoke with Secretary Hargett this morning, he was very pleased with the turnout the state saw this year. Hargett stated that 93 out of 95 counties were done counting before midnight. He said Shelby County exceeded his expectations with how quickly they reported vote totals, considering how large the county is and the thousands of absentee ballots that had to be counted on Election Day. A very heavy police presence here on Quince Road near Mount Moriah. As you can see, they still have the road closed off. Police have been here for hours. They say the initial incident started at 1:20 this morning when an officer spotted a car driving recklessly and tried to stop the driver. But right now, officers are still here at the 5,000 block of Biscoe Avenue. They've been here all morning, and they've set up a mobile command unit. This is the last area where the little girl was seen, and people are walking by just in disbelief of how damaged this church is, located on Columbia and York. You can see all the way through to the back of the church, the roof completely fallen in, just to give an indicator of just how strong those winds were last night.
We are the Memphis Mission of Mercy.
Renato Zalamea, a retired nurse, runs the group. He's been loading and unloading boxes all day.
We're a small organization, but trying to do something big.
The boxes contain thousands of N95 masks. They planned to use them for a mission trip to the Philippines. It's been postponed because of COVID-19.
We started calling nursing homes.
Clinics and hospitals too. His message?
Please call me. I'm very willing and able and happy to share with them what we have.
He's set up at his home, inviting healthcare workers to pick up the masks that are in high demand.
With the N95, they're a lot thicker.
While the masks were manufactured in 2013, Zalamea reached out to the CDC to confirm they can still be used. Healthcare workers are grateful.
They cannot believe that it's free.
Even though he and his wife Norma are of an age that health experts say is high risk for contracting the coronavirus, he says that's not going to stop them from helping.
You got to have a reason for living. And if we'll just not do anything at home, being old, well, yep, I can understand going under.
Camille Connor,
But not us.
WMC Action News 5.
Meet the Ellises. They, like many Black families over the last few weeks, have had to have some tough dinner table discussions with their kids about race.
They have questions like, Mom, why is this happening? Or why don't they just like us for us?
After seeing the videos of Ahmaud Arbery gunned down in the street by strangers while jogging, learning that Breonna Taylor was shot 8 times by police while she was sleeping in her own bed, and seeing George Floyd beg for his life as a police officer knelt on his neck, it's hard not to wonder why.
Dad, why did no one stop
Yeah.
the police from doing that? And having to explain that to a 9-year-old was probably one of the most difficult parent experiences
Yes.
that I have.
But those difficult conversations haven't only been happening in the homes of Black families. Meet the Wepfers, friends of the Ellises.
The videos online just graphically depicting the injustice that's going on around the country. But it's hard to not respond to that.
So they started asking what? What could they do to respond?
And I was praying a lot and just felt led to make these signs.
Yard signs bearing the names of Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and George Floyd. The Ellises picked one up.
Took it to social media.
And now nearly 400 have been given out. The families have even spent their days together sitting side by side on the sidewalk, handing them out. Under the names of Arbery, Taylor, and Floyd, there's a Bible verse.
Amos 5:24, that justice rolled down like waters.
A message they hope fills the streets of Memphis.
We would love for us to drive at any part of town and be able to see this representation that connects us all.
Camille Connor, WMC Action News 5.